Hello, everybody. I'm a practicing therapist and a doctoral student of psychology. I work predominantly with avoidantly attached individuals. I am very fascinated by attachment theory, and particularly avoidant individuals because that I used to be an avoidant, and so my passion lies very deeply with this. Also, my partner is avoidant and my father is avoidant. Well, my partner was avoidant. And so avoidantly attached individuals have always been something I have been very fascinated about because for most of my life, I did not know what was going on with me. I didn't know it was something specific until I figured it out. And it was very fascinating. So I know it sounds strange, but I speak quite fluent avoidant. I know avoidance in and out. I know most of the things that an avoidant individual struggles with, I have struggled with, I have seen in my practice. And so that's the reason why I feel very passionate about helping people and helping to understand these individuals, because avoidant individuals, I feel, are very misunderstood. And I think they deserve love, even though they don't really realize they need it or want it. And I think it's very important to recognize that at the end of the day, if an attachment issue is the reason the relationship is not working and everything else is pretty much fine, that can be healed. It feels very threatening and scary when you're in that relationship, but it is very fixable. There's so much research on it. There's so much individuals in our field, so many therapists, so many research coming out. My dissertation is leaning in this direction as well. Like, we're all trying to learn, we're all trying to help people. And so it's not a lost cause. And you can have a future with an avoidant. And so what are those signs that an avoidant sees a future with you? Because it's very important you guys see a future together, right? That's the fundamental part of a future in a romantic sense, that both of you guys see it. So the very first one is more common with male avoidants, okay? They are more dependent on your physical presence in their life in terms of the safety you provide. Now, I'm going to explain this because that's I know it's a complicated sentence, okay? Male avoidant individuals, and females do this too, but it's much more common with male avoidants. They feel more comfortable with you just being next to them while they're doing something. Like, you don't have to do anything. They could be trying to fix something or watch TV or whatever it is. I'm recording this in July, and we just had like a lot of people are doing cookouts where I am. So it's like he could just be grilling and he just wants her next to him, like standing right next to him, right? Avoidant individuals, male avoidants especially, almost are dependent on that presence. It makes him feel calm. It makes him feel very relaxed. I'm going to mention something that a couple patients bring up in session, and it's going to be a little bit particular, but I've heard it enough where I think it's a trend with avoidance, especially men, but both, right? Male avoidants, all avoidants actually, don't like showing weakness and vulnerability. They don't like showing that they're in any sort of pain, right? So typically if they're taking they have to take like a shot, or they have to get a very quick amount of stitches, but it's like local anesthesia, which I've heard that happen. That sounds horrible to me, but I guess everybody's different. Like maybe a small amount. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, so I could be wrong about that. But any sort of like any sort of vulnerability, especially if it's pain, like physical pain, avoidant individuals don't like to show that particular weakness, especially, right? But some avoidant individuals start feeling very comfortable with their partner's presence. So maybe they got, I don't know, I've seen this before. I don't know how accurate this is, but if you get bit by like a snake, this is probably not good. I'm not telling you to do this. But if you get bitten by something poisonous or whatever, you can put like shaving cream and somehow the swelling goes away. Don't quote me. I don't know, but I've seen that, and some of my patients have talked about that. Whatever it is, okay, y'all do your thing. But what a patient mentioned to me is that when this happened, let's say he was bit by something that's venomous or whatever, and he did that, and then he put the shaving cream or whatever substance he put or whatever item he put on his body to calm himself down or like reduce it or let his body fight the poison or whatever he was telling me, okay? He said that the most comforting part of all of that was just that his girlfriend was just there. Like, she didn't have to hand him any items. She didn't even have to say anything. But like, to him, the thing that made him feel like, which is just his perspective, that healed his body or made him feel like more connected or more safer and like relaxed, was that she was just like there. while he was doing all his scrambling and fixing himself and trying to adjust himself with this physical altercation or whatever he's struggling with, right? He felt safe, just her presence, okay? And this happens with female avoidance as well, but very, very common. This is not an uncommon scenario, so it's not like I'm sharing information. So many avoidants have mentioned something very similar, okay? The next one is a little bit more common with female avoidance. However, it can happen with male avoidance, okay? They're more dependent on your words and support when they are stressed. Avoidant individuals, when they're stressed, they do not really like to tell people because it's frustrating. It can feel like that just makes it, they want to avoid the feeling or work it out subconsciously or indirectly. And talking about it can sometimes make it feel worse or harder to do that. And so when an avoidant individual actually believes that you can sort their issues out for them or with them, it makes them feel like you're very close to them. You are a part of them because they only allow themselves to sort out their issues. So if they're talking about something that's very stressful, and they're saying it to you, this is something that can be very important. Now, I'm going to give another example. I mentioned this is more common with female avoidance. However, most of my patients are men, so you're going to hear my examples a little bit more leaning that way, but I have noticed this is more common with female avoidance. But I want to give an example of something that I see a lot where, let's say we have a male avoidant. I'm giving it a male avoidant because most of my patients are men. It's an example, though. But I see this very commonly where I mentioned it's July and it's hot. A lot of people, their ACs are breaking. HVAC or HVAC, whatever y'all call it. I don't know. And, you know, it's pretty expensive to fix the entire thing, like completely replace it. It's like, I don't know, like 9 to 13K, sometimes 15K, depending on your area, right? And so that's a very stressful situation, right? And so that's pretty common happening right now. I don't know what it is, but a lot of people are trying to replace their ACs because it's breaking or there's a lot of issues and they didn't realize for a year until they had to turn it on, whatever it is, right? And so some patients, they like to deal with that alone. But recently what I've noticed is a lot of avoidant individuals, let's say he's a male avoidant and he's been with a girl for a long time. Before, he would never open up to her, but now he calls her and just kind of vents to her about his stressors, like he's just expressing himself. And sometimes just hearing her words of support can make his distress feel, you know, reduced. And I will say more commonly why I say this is more common with female avoidance is because I think sometimes with female avoidance, they like to hear your input. Male avoidance as well, but I think more so male avoidance prefer like just your presence or your support. Whereas sometimes female avoidance prefer a little bit of input, like this is what you should do, or I think it's going to be okay. This is a good idea to ask, like the HVAC person when he comes by, right? So that's something to really remember when looking at these different things. There are a little bit of differences with gender, but not too much, okay? The next one is not gender specific, and it's if an avoidant is getting very attached to the particular aspects that you bring to the relationship that are unique to you. Okay, so this could be your cooking style. This could be your clothing style. This could be your perfume or your cologne. And they show attachment by these things. They may talk about it a lot, or they may observe it, or they may mention it. They may ask for like a certain dish that you always cook them. That's really common. They may mention like particular clothing styles you like let's say you guys are at a store, they might mention, oh, you know, I bet you would really like that skirt. It's exactly your style. Like they become very particular to you, like very specific. They might feel like, I don't know how to explain it, but like they start getting more engaged in like your hobbies, right? So if you like certain things, they start talking about it more. Maybe they're watching more shows about that hobby, or maybe they're scrolling through reels more particular about your hobby. They become more just attached to the things that are about you. And the reason why is because you're unique in your own way, as we all are. But you're no longer unique to them. You are, I'm not saying it like that, but you're part of them now. So they're familiar with you, and they have decided subconsciously and consciously that they want you integrated within their life. And so no longer is it going to be necessarily unique. Your, I don't know, the chicken that you cook, whatever it is, the pasta that you make, that's something that they expect that's going to be in their life. And so they become attached to it. because it's not going anywhere. In their mind, they hope that they have a future with you. They know what type of skirt you wear because you wear it, and maybe one day they'll buy that for you, whatever it is. So they become very attached to what you have added to their life. This is a very, very important one because it happens very gradually, but once it happens, it's very hard to unravel because it's everywhere, right? It's going to be your cooking. It's going to be your cleaning. It's going to be your food. It's going to be you, I don't know, you getting the gas in their car for them. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's like they're starting to integrate you. You guys are starting to have certain roles that are put in a relationship. And secure individuals do this very naturally, right? And it's very common with secure individuals, but avoidant individuals, they are very independent. They only do their thing, right? And so if they're putting very attached to the aspects you bring to their life, they're actually becoming less independent and more interdependent. This is a very, very important sign because interdependence, as we've looked at this research, it is one of the most precursors to having a healthy relationship, okay? The next one is they've made adjustments in their own attachment style, their own attachment barrier, so that they can become closer to you, so that they can make you happy. Maybe they never liked, labeling a relationship, and they did that for you. Maybe they never expected they would get married, but they did that for you. Maybe they never expected talking about a future with anybody, but they're doing that with you. They've never expected living with somebody, but they're doing that with you. They're making those adjustments because you are part of their life. You are someone they see a future with. And the last one, and this is pretty obvious, but it's important, and yes, avoidants do this. They talk about a future with you without being triggered. It could be anything. Next year we should do that. Or I have an idea for next Halloween. Let's wear this, costume, whatever it may be. They are talking about the future where you're in it. And when I talk about a future with you, typically when avoidants see a future with you, they don't feel that you're going anywhere. And avoidants say that all the time when they love you. I'm not going anywhere. I'm never going to leave you. If you want to leave me, you can, but I'm not leaving you, right? The reason why avoidants say that so strongly without any doubt is because they know when they have decided somebody is for them, that is it. You don't have to like them, and maybe you can leave, but they're not going to leave. So if they see a future with you, it's pretty solid, okay? That's why I wanted to share this with you. I hope this video was helpful. Please like, subscribe. I will see you in the next one.